Okay, here is the pile of blankets I finished for the animal shelter. They're mostly for cats and dogs, and they come in all different sizes and different types of fabric. And I'm going to go through each group and show them individually. But here's the big pile. Good morning, I'm Judy, and welcome to Judy's Crafts and Stuff. Today is February 28th, 2025. And today I'm just showing you some blankets that I sewed for the local animal shelter. I did 30, and they're in different techniques, different fabrics, and I just thought I'd go through and show them briefly in case any of you out there are thinking about doing something similar, and it might give you some ideas. First of all, I purchased 10 yards of blizzard fleece by the bolt from Joann's earlier this year. And because the bolt was the fabric is 60 inches wide, I just folded it in half and cut it to 36 inches, per yard. So these, and then folded it in half. And so these ended up being about 30 by 36. The animal shelter tells me that their mats, or whatever you call it, their cages or whatever, are about 36 inches square. So I was kind of going by that measurement when I made all of them. For these fleece ones, I just folded it in half and sewed it on the machine, some stitches up the middle and the sides to keep it together. These were the ones done with the fleece were the easiest and the softest, and I highly recommend that for the rest of for any ones I do in the future. That's what I would use, is just fleece, and you'll understand that as I go along. So I have 10 of those, and I'm putting them down here on a table. Then there was some other fleece that was donated to me, and I basically did the same using whatever width they had and length, and made them different sizes. Also, hoping to kind of stay within the parameters of 36 by 36, but they might have been 30 inches on one side. And I think they're quite soft and quite easy to sew on the machine. Okay, next I have some that were made from fabrics that were donated to me, and thank you, Joyce H., if you're watching. There was some flannel, and these I made with cotton batting in the middle, one layer of thin cotton batting. And I think I made these 36 by 30. They were also pretty easy to do under the machine. And when I say using the machine, I mean I had the feed dogs down and used a walking foot. It wasn't a quilt by machine with the feed dogs up and roll the material around the way a lot of people do quilting by machine. That didn't really work for this because the fabric has a tendency to fold up, and it has to be held down. So I used the walking foot, and the feed dogs were up. This is a nice soft flannel. She also donated some wool, and I previously called the animal shelter to ask if wool was okay, and they said it was fine. So for some of these, I used wool with a cotton batting in the middle. And on one of them, I didn't even put a binding on the edges. Some of them I sewed with the right sides together as a sandwich with the batting in the middle, and just, folded them out. But this one, I didn't even put a binding on the edge. I figure I would, rather than use up space with a binding, which sewing it right sides together, turning it inside out, and having a binding, it would make it smaller. And I kind of wanted to sort of try to stay as close to 36 inches as I could. And also I had to piece a couple of pieces of wool together for that. There's that one. And there's this nice plaid one, which was a little bit bigger. Then there was an old blanket, and for this, I just used 2 layers together and also sewed seams down the middle. Early on, I had made the quilts like a comforter with ties, and I decided that those stitches were too large for animals. They might get their claws caught in them. So anyway, I have another group of 10, and that would be the end. My final group of 10 blankets consists of ones made with cotton, and there was a batting, an upholstery batting, that I purchased from Amazon. It came in a package about maybe 14 inches long, maybe 14 inches wide, and about this thick. It was compressed, freeze-dried, or something like that. And when you opened it up, it came to 48 inches wide and 360 inches long. It was quite large. I took it to my church, and thank you, Pastor Wise and Melissa, for helping me to birth that upholstery from the little package. But it worked well. It's a little bit hard to sew these under the machine, but it was doable. I didn't worry too much about getting a pleat here and there because I don't think the animals care. And I think it worked out really well. There were these couple that I did not do by machine, but simply tied like a comforter. And all I can say is I just hope the animals don't start scratching on them and get their claws cut in them. But I wasn't going to go back and do it again because this is a very time-consuming project. And I think it'll be okay. So anyway, I just had different layers of cotton for this one. And that batting, it was polyester batting for the middles. Tried to match up make them a little bit pretty. These are a little bit bigger than the others because I cut the front side about 36 and then just made a self-binding that was about 40 inches wide so that it would fold over. Fold over binding rather than sewing right sides together and then turning it inside out. I think those of you who sew will understand what I mean by that. But these are just assorted colors of cotton. A lot of it was purchased from Joann's and was that Happy Value cotton, worked just fine for the dog and cat quilts. At a point in time, that cotton was on sale for $1.79 a yard. Sadly, Joann's closing. I don't know if we'll ever find bargains like that again, but that really worked for me. And like I said, if I got a pleat in it, because it was hard to see, when you're sewing on this side to see what's going on this side, I didn't worry about it because these are dogs. Now, I don't know if I'm going to do this project ever again, or if I'll do smaller ones. Maybe I can find a rescue for some smaller animal like ferrets or something that could use smaller ones. But I'm not so sure I'll do this again. Here's one that I pieced piece by piece, row by row, and that was fun. So anyway, I didn't want to drag this video on for too long, but I just wanted to show y'all. And if I can find the video where the pastor and Melissa are helping me to open up the big package, I will put that in here as well. Thank you so much for watching me, and you all have a great day. Okay, come on now, do your thing. Come on. I almost didn't believe them that it's going to actually be that big. Isn't that amazing what they do with vacuums these days?
Mm-hmm.
Does this take one or two? This only takes one battery.
Here. Is there an end to this?
I don't know.
Oh no. You're losing your fluff.
Oh.
There we go. Let's see how long this thing gets. That's like a table runner.
Supposed to be 10 yards.
Well, I think we achieved it.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that amazing? Wow.
Well, that's right, because each of these tables.
Okay, I think that's about it. I think that about does it.